Alright guys, we are live and welcome back. If you are new to the channel and you want to not only perplex up your Heroclix IQ, but also outwit the competition, make sure to Hulk smash that subscribe button and also the little bell notification so that you can be sure to see my Heroclix videos every time they become available. And today's video is a live stream where we are going to be talking about how to take down a Uni-Mind and Nighthawk Prime team. So if you're stopping in and watching this on the live stream, make sure to share this video so that everybody can get a chance to see it. And if you have a comment, go ahead and put it in there, and we'll get to the questions and comments at the end. And if you post something I don't get to immediately, there is a slight delay between what I'm seeing and what you guys are seeing, so it'll eventually get there. So first thing we're going to talk about is what specifically is on a Nighthawk team and a Uni-Mind team, and really the two main components of that are the two figures Uni-Mind and Nighthawk Prime. So what they do is Uni-Mind has a trait where he can perplex himself up. Generally, people add 3 blue flame tokens to him, so he can perplex himself up by +2 times, so essentially +4, and he can also decrease opponents' values by -2. And so the thought is that you can perplex up yourself by +3, and then with Nighthawk Prime, you make it so that your opponents cannot increase their values so that they can't keep up with what you're perplexing. And Nighthawk Prime also has an outwit, which if you're playing against another Uni-Mind team is good, because if Uni-Mind uses outwit, then he's vulnerable to outwit because he loses power cosmic team ability. So that's a good. Uni-Mind's also real popular right now because he's basically a pick-a-power figure. So those are just generally good. And so the general idea of the Uni-Mind team is get your stats up. You have all these different powers to pick from. You got hypersonic speed, you have running shot, you have psychic blast, you have invincible, prob, perplex, everything you need to make a team good at all. Uni-Mind has access to all on his own, and if you're using the 3 blue flame tokens, it's only 165 points out of your 300-point build. And then you got Nighthawk Prime that has outwit, makes it so that your opponents can't keep up with your stat buffs, and it's just really difficult. And I know that there's a bunch of other things that go on these teams, like retaliators, round tables. The boxing ring is real popular right now to keep with the buffs and stat decreases, so that your opponent further can't attack you really realistically. So that's the basics of how that works, and we're going to talk about mostly in this video what I would do to combat this type of team. Because it seems like a really popular thing is, when something gets hot and a lot of people start talking about it, the popular thing is, it needs banned or nerfed or this or that or the other thing. But I don't think so. I think that there's a few good teams floating around out there that would really give him a run for his money. We're going to talk about one tonight. And so let's go ahead and get in how to take them down. So the basics of how to take down this style of team is you need something on your team that can eat through Uni-Mind's defenses. He starts off with invincible, plus he can pick invincible from his blue flame token, or he can pick super senses and a couple other different defensive powers. And the powers that he picks are immune to pulse wave, so pulse wave is not really a solid option. And if he doesn't use perplex, he's also immune to outwit because he still has power cosmic team ability, so outwit's not reliable. So you could go with a Nick Fury and just say can't use whatever, and then hope that he used a perplex so that you can outwit his current defensive power. But then you're talking about if they have a Nighthawk Prime, you're swinging a 12 on a 21. That's not a good proposition. You know, you're looking at, what do you need there, like a 9 or something silly like that. And that's if you can up your attack value. You might not be able to. So that's not a good one. So you need something else. And for me, the only real way to go that's going to guarantee that you're going to eat through these clicks on Uni-Mind is, in fact, Green Lantern from... I'm sorry, not Green Lantern. Good grief. I don't know what I'm thinking, guys. Is going to be this Green Arrow from DC Elseworld. And I'm just using these general pictures, guys, because I get a lot of playbacks on mobile, and you can't read the dials anyway on mobile, so I'm just picking, you know, decent pictures to look at, and then, you know, you can go look up the dials themselves on HC Realms if you would like to. So he is on here for his one thing is Kryptonite arrows, which are the special on his attack. And it says, when Green Arrow hits with a ranged attack, the hit target can't use defensive powers until your next turn. If the target has the Kryptonian keyword, also give it an action token. So obviously Uni-Mind doesn't have the Kryptonian keyword, but it makes it so that he can't use any of those defensive powers. And a 12 attack is really solid, and we're going to talk about how we're going to get around Uni-Mind having a probably 21 defense here in a minute. So that's a really good start. We need this. We need Green Arrow on our team. And the second part of taking out a Uni-Mind is, once you do finally, after a long drudged out process, you need a way to take out the Eternals that he pops out. Now it's either going to be 2 or 3, and if the ROC World Cup is any indicator, it's probably going to be 3. And so you need somebody that can hit multiple targets, preferably at least 3. So I selected the Avengers Defenders War Chase Hawkeye, and he's on this team for his rapid fire trick shooting special on his movement, and it says Hawkeye can use running shot. Each time Hawkeye hits an opposing character with a ranged attack, after action resolves, he can use running shot again as a free action, but only to target a character that wasn't attacked this turn. And he has precision strike on his dial, so he's definitely going to get that one through. And this is all you have to deal is 1 click to each Eternal. So he is here to hopefully take out each of those Eternals, and then you have a 1-turn KO of a Uni-Mind. Okay, now in order to do this, you're going to need some stat buffs, because a 12 on a 21, as we just discussed, isn't necessarily good. So we have a decision to make on if we are going to take out Nighthawk Prime, or if we're going to take out or if we're going to take out Uni-Mind. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to get rid of the Nighthawk Prime. So we're going to pretend like we're going to ignore Uni-Mind, go after Nighthawk Prime first. So what we're going to do in this scenario is, I really like running like a kill box style team with the figures that we have so far. So what I would do is I would run a Jean Grey from the Uncanny X-Men Fast Forces, where she's 50 points. If she has no action tokens, can use TK as a free action, and if she has an action token, then she can just use TK regularly. So essentially you get a free TK and then TK him back to give him an action token. So you can run a TK yo-yo with her, or you can, you know, sort of alpha strike with the TK. So she's really good. That's the only reason she's on here. She gives you TK yo-yo and alpha strike possibilities. And what I'm going to pair her up with is Alpha 1 from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wave 1 set. And he is on here for his special on his attack called Dimensional Displacement Device. And it says, give Alpha 1 a power action and choose a character within 5 squares. If that character is friendly, it must have the robot keyword. If that character is opposing, it can't have the robot keyword. Place that character adjacent. And he is 60 points. So the thoughts here is that, free action TK him out with Jean Grey. Give him a power action to place Nighthawk Prime adjacent to him. Okay, so that's your one action for the turn. Then what we're going to do is we need a way to take out Nighthawk Prime. And he has Shape Change, which is really pain, 17 defense with energy shield deflection. And really the only ways to get around this reliably are Pulse Wave, which you have a chance, you got to line that up pretty good. You have a chance to hit your own guy, or Battle Fury. And that's the one that I'm going with. So what I'm selecting for this is the Spider-Man ID card. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and be using the Bruce Banner Spider-Man from the Mighty Thor set, where he has a 10 attack with a charge, flurry, super strength combo for 3 damage with Battle Fury. And what we would do is use Green Arrow to call him in, because I believe he's 75 points. And then charge flurry with a heavy object, or just the regular charge flurry is going to be enough to do him if you hit with them both. So it's a 10 on the 17. And there is something else on here that will help with that, if you're able to line it up right. And that's going to be Eric Masterson from the same Mighty Thor set. He has a power action, Perplex, and he also has enhancement. And this is one spot on this team where you can kind of fudge it around and see if you can find a better guy that's just maybe a free action Perplex, like a Apprentice or somebody that's maybe cheaper than that, because I think Apprentice is about 20 points. And so he's on here. He gives, +1 damage for range, potential to give +1 to attack or damage with his Perplex, or wherever you need your +1. So you send your Spider-Man in, charge flurry, hopefully you KO the Nighthawk Prime, and then you have to wait a turn basically for Uni-Mind. And at this point, hopefully you've picked a map. With this team, I really like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewers, or some map with a ton of blocking terrain. Just something that's gonna really make it difficult to get to you. I'm drawing a blank on a bunch of them, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewers is a good one. And you just you basically teleport people in with Alpha 1, kill box with either the Spider-Man ID card if it's Nighthawk, or use Green Arrow and Hawkeye if it's Uni-Mind. So after you teleport Nighthawk, and hopefully you've done his thing and he's KO'd, then you're going to go after Uni-Mind. And so he's probably going to be perplexing up his defense, since you don't have any outwit on this team. And what I would suggest is, when you teleport him over with Alpha 1 and you're getting ready to attack, is you use this 25-point Nightwing that is on our team. And he is on here for the Outsider's team ability. And the Outsider's team ability is basically, when you use it, you can only have your printed values that are on your dial. So it's really helpful for that Uni-Mind. It's not as expensive as Nighthawk Prime. He's only 25 points. Nighthawk is 65. Same thing with the Deadpool Merc with a mouth. He's also pretty expensive point wise. I think he might be 80 or 75 points. So this is the cheapest option to get rid of stat buffs right here for this Nightwing. And then after that, hopefully you're teleporting him in. You use Green Arrow, and he is able to range combat expert, get his damage value up to 5, which will be enough to KO the Uni-Mind. And you can use your Perplex from Eric Masterson if you need to, or whoever. You know, or you could do 1 to the attack to get them to a 13, 1 to damage, and then you get your free +1 to damage from enhancement from Eric Masterson. Might be a better way to go that conserves your action pool. And that's basically all there is to this. Is it's a kill box with a TK yo-yo. It's simple, it's effective. Most of these figures aren't terrible to get, or you know, if you're playing competitive, you're going to be able to get them. I know that you know, the Green Arrow and the Hawkeye are both pretty expensive, but after that, nothing on this team is really too expensive, other than, you know, the Spider-Man ID card might be like $15, I think, or something like that. But this is how I would get rid of a Uni-Mind and Nighthawk Prime team. And this is also going to work pretty well against Jakeem Thunder. You know, it's not an auto loss or something like that, because that's what a lot of people get worried about is, you know, okay, if you can beat this team, then it's going to be an auto loss for against a different team. And so far, I don't think that's how this one's necessarily going to be. Okay. Apparently, Deadpool is only 70 points. But still, you get the point that Nightwing is 25 points. So he's still significantly cheaper. And thank you for the assist there, because I didn't have a way to bring him up right away. And other than that, if you guys are on the lookout and you're trying to look up for more ways to take down a Uni-Mind team, I know for a fact that Clickstuff Podcast is going to be doing a similar thing to what I'm doing right now, where they're going to have how they're going to take out a Uni-Mind team. And then the Alpha Strike is also doing a video on how to take out a Uni-Mind team. So if I were you, I'd watch my video and get a hold of their 2 videos also, so that you can be, you know, pretty sure to see, you know, get a good intake on how other people would take them down. And then, you know, maybe you don't like everything that I did, but you like what I did, plus, you know, maybe something over at the Alpha Strike did, or Clickstuff or something like that, you know, just so that you can maybe bring a better team to the field than, you know, what either one of us independently had put together. Also, I want to take the time to tell you guys about the Patreon stuff. If you guys follow me on Twitter, and if you're a member in the Facebook group, both of those links are in the description below this video. You saw that I got a prototype for the 1 t-shirt. This is the month 1 t-shirt. Turned out pretty good, or a mock-up as art people would call it, but it turned out really good. There's two different pledge levels for the t-shirts, where one is where you get a t-shirt every other month, so you get 6 t-shirts a year, and then another one is where you get a t-shirt every month, and then you get other stuff on top of that, like tokens, exclusive access, things like that. So that's my big pitch for right now. So so far it doesn't look like we have too much going on in the chat right now. Just Ranching Nerd hit me up with the Deadpool thing's only 70 points. So so that's pretty much all we have for you guys today. Like I said, make sure to check out all those other content creators so that you can you know, get a good idea of what's going on. Check me out on Patreon, Twitter, Facebook. Everything's in the description below. That's all I have for you guys today. And if you like this video, go ahead and share it. And in the comments below, if you're watching this on the replay, tell me what you liked about this team, what you didn't like about this team. Maybe your own team for how to take down a Uni-Mind. But when you make the team, also keep in mind a Jakeem Thunder, because, you know, you don't want an auto loss for that. So that's all I have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.